In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a wood sign using your Cricut and some vinyl. First, I'll walk you through how I made the board, and then second, I'll show you how to apply the vinyl to your sign. So for my wood, I used a scrap piece that I had in my garage, and I just sanded it down really good so it was super smooth. You can use any kind of wood here, find some at your local hardware store, and then go ahead and get that painted. I'm spray painting mine black. Then once the paint is all dry, I'm using a sander with some 120 grit sandpaper, and I'm just distressing the edges and the sides a little bit. This is totally optional, I just like the look of it, and so that's what I went with. Then the last thing I'm doing here is taking a damp cloth, you can also use a tack cloth, and I'm just removing any dust that's on my board. Alright, so here's what it looks like. As you can tell, I just sanded around the edges and like in the corners. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm using Cricut's removable premium vinyl. If you have permanent vinyl, that would be great as well. I just have removable on hand, so that's what I'm using, and it does a great job. And since we are cutting, I think it's about up to 17 inches long, I've got the long 24-inch mat out here. So I'll just get this applied, and then we will push it down and burnish it onto the mat using a scraper tool. Alright, so now we'll get this loaded in and we'll get cutting. So now we're going to remove the vinyl from the mat. I always do this trick when I'm removing vinyl, but especially when your mat is new or really sticky like this one, this will be really helpful. So you'll just flip the mat over and let the mat do the bending back while you pull your material straight. So do you see how the mat's bending? It'll keep your material nice and flat. Perfect. All right, the next thing we're going to do is weed. This will be super simple. It'll just take a little bit of time since it's a big design. We're just gonna remove the vinyl from around the design and inside of it as well. Just take your time to make sure that everything stays that needs to be, especially look out for like little dots on eyes and things like that. So I just like to go nice and slow. It's a little hard to see with the white too. So just take your time. And I also like to take a scissors and kind of cut off the chunks you'll see as I go. I just find it's a little bit easier for me that way. Okay, so I've got the welcome to done. And now, before I get to the next part, I'm just gonna cut this part away. Just make sure you don't cut into your design at all. So for me, it's just easier to kind of trim the excess vinyl off as I go, otherwise you'll get like a really big lump of it. So I'm gonna keep following that same pattern for the rest of the design, and then I'll remove the inside of the letters as well. One more quick tip here is I'm going and weeding, I like to keep the vinyl as flat as you can see here, like as close to the surface as possible. I'm trying to think of a good way to explain that. I just find that that helps keep the vinyl that needs to stay on the paper on it. So I just kind of rock back and forth and just pull completely like straight down instead of like trying to like pull it up, if that makes sense. So just one more little tip here, we're actually almost done. Alright, so the next step is going to be to apply transfer tape onto the vinyl. Since I'm just using regular vinyl, we'll use regular old transfer tape. Make sure you're not using the strong grip. So we'll get this open and then we'll apply it on top of the vinyl. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is just cut this transfer tape to size. So I'm going to place it on top of my design and then just make sure I cut it so that it's long enough to use. Alright, so now what we're going to do is take the transfer tape and remove it from the paper backing that it's on. And now we're going to slowly place it on top of the design. Since this is a bigger design, we're going to go nice and slow. And the way that I like to do this is just start at the top push down just a little bit, make sure everything's evened out, and then carefully work my way down like this. We'll push down, grab our scraper tool again. Then we'll flip it over, and then we're gonna remove the paper backing from the vinyl. And the vinyl should now stay on the transfer tape. You might have to help push some of the letters down a little bit, but for the most part, it should all stay on. Again, just go nice and slow. Perfect, so now the design is completely transferred onto the transfer tape. Now we'll get our board and place it on top. Now we're gonna take our transfer tape and vinyl and we're gonna line it up. Try to do our best to center it here. So don't push down on your transfer tape immediately. See how I can easily move it? We wanna be able to do that. So I'm working on getting it centered and getting it straight. It definitely would be easiest to just grab a tape measure, but sometimes I just like to use my hand. I think that's about good, and I'm just gonna make sure it's straight. Okay, so I think that there looks good, and now I'm just gonna push down with my hands. Grab that scraper tool again, and really push down so that the vinyl sticks onto the wood. Once I feel like it's stuck pretty well, I like to start in a top corner and just work my way down, kind of rocking back and forth. Again, making sure to pull this transfer tape down so that it's level with the board. I just find that for whatever reason, it's the easiest to work with when we do it that way. And since our board, since I sanded the board and it's nice and smooth, this is going nice and easy. If your wood has raised grain and it's not smooth, sometimes this can be pretty challenging because it doesn't want to stick to it. There we go. Now you can reuse your transfer tape. So what I like to do right away, grab that paper backing again that we removed it from, and we'll just place it back on the transfer tape so you can use it for another project. All right, then the last thing I like to do is first go over with my fingers just to make sure everything is applied. And then I'm gonna lightly go over with a scraper tool and just apply a little bit of pressure. I did notice I forgot to weed part of the B here, which is no problem if you miss something like I did. Just grab your weeder tool and you can just weed from right here. And there you are. That's how easy it is to make a sign. Just requires a little bit of patience, but there you have it.